Welcome to another edition of What Barrie's Talking About from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. On this week's program, the boys of summer are back in Barrie. The Barrie Baycats take the field tonight, opening the Intercounty Baseball League season as reigning champs. We get a behind-the-scenes look at the club. A few municipalities taking exception to other municipalities, offering big bucks and other incentives to doctors to locate to their towns. They say they can't afford to do the same and can't compete. We talked to the councillor of one local town that's making it work. And you can fight City Hall and you can win. One of our colleagues here at Central Ontario Broadcasting did and tells us his story. We get the conversation started after this. It's here, home opener, season opener, tonight for the reigning Intercounty Baseball champion Barrie Baycats. Some adjustments made in the off-season, some new faces in the dugout. Our new face, Julius Hern, checking the lineup with Baycats President, GM, and Manager Josh Matlow.
Your first championship as manager, the 8th for this franchise. How much more hectic was your off-season after a championship?
Yeah, it's not bad for sure, but it's just it's all the love and the support within the community, and everyone wants pictures with the trophy and go to events and just be present amongst the community. It's been quite hectic to say the least.
Looking back on it now, what was the key to getting over the hump in 2024 compared to the finals loss in 23?
I think it was just again, we had to learn. We were a young team, getting that playoff experience, humbling us in the finals. It's kind of like it was all just like a recipe for success. I know when we lost in 2023, I said it right after we lost, and it's not true. That's probably going to sound weird coming out of my mouth, but that was the best thing to happen to our regime, and it was. And the boys were hungry last year, and they're even hungrier this year, which is crazy to imagine. What do you think it really taught the team, and something that they can take into this year as well? The fact that we're one unit, we have that mindset and that goal. That's our slogan, our one unit, one mindset, one goal. It sticks true that when we're out on the field, we believe we're the best team out there every single night. And even the pieces we brought in, they understand that's our goal again this year, and everyone's kind of rowing the boat in the same direction, and it's amazing to be a part of. Before we get to the on-field product for you, what's new around the organization off the field? A lot I can't actually talk about, to be honest with you. But there's a lot of fun, amazing, very cool, innovative stuff coming in a very, very short time. But there's been a lot of work been put in off the field. Again, you won't see anything right now, but over time, I'll be very excited to be a part of it. Now, as for on-the-field additions, who are some of the new guys on the team that you're really excited about? I'm really excited about all of them, to be honest with you. I think each guy brings another dynamic to the already deep squad. And Francisco Hernandez, the fact that he'll be playing with his brother Brandon, and we know how Brandon did last year. If he's just as good or half as good, it would be great. But just have them up the middle, I think that'd be really cool. Elise Beltran, the catcher, Dominican catcher, who can help communicate with some of our Dominican pitchers. I think that'll be a nice little dynamic. We got Willie Garcia in the outfield, who's going to supply right power bat, which we haven't had really since I started. We've always been looking for a right power bat, and with major league experience and a very, very large man. I think a lot of fans are going to enjoy watching him hit. And Tristan Clark, who was a beast when he was younger, and he's only 29, but he still wants to give it a go with us, and we're just grateful to have him. Team Canada drafted by the Washington Nationals, and I think all the pieces that we added, including actually two young arms, Ethan Morris and Frank Cayetta, who are flamethrowers. They throw in the 90s. So we're really excited with the pieces that we added on top of the core we already have. And we still feel that we're going to be the team to beat this year. I was really impressed with Tristan Clark, couple home runs in the exhibition game on Saturday. I want to go back to Elise Beltran. How important is it now having a Dominican catcher as opposed to, we had Tyler Plumpton and Hayden Jaco on this roster for the last couple of years, being able to communicate, with your Dominican pitchers. How important is that having, that less of the communication barrier? It is a thing for sure. Plumpton is, and Jaco, they're great catchers, and they platoon perfectly. I think bringing in that Dominican, it also takes pressure off, Jaco with his knees. Jaco, he's still living in BC, and Plumpton is out there every day. So it takes a lot of pressure off the catching core. But, the Dominican, they all know him. They all suggested him. So, and they've all pitched to him. So they're very comfortable with him, and he's a great guy. He's very, very happy all the time, and it's going to bring a nice little vibe to our already awesome locker room.
The number of import spots this year also increased from 4 to 5. How important is that extra spot, not just for your team, but for the league?
I think it's great just to have as an everyday player. I think with our league and the way it's kind of built, having guys, they have weddings or they have family stuff or they have jobs. Being a working man's league, sometimes there's challenges going to Brantford on a Sunday or whatever it'll be. But to have that extra full-time body, I think is huge. It will help, obviously, increase the quality of play automatically because it's just an extra professional. And I think it'll help some of the teams that are on the lower part of the ladder to stay a little more competitive.
What do you think it says to you that it doesn't seem like the roster turnover year to year isn't high and you're still able to recruit these high-caliber players?
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of it, right? And that's why we sign guys in October. It's a testament to what we're doing, and the guys have bought in, and the way we're playing, obviously, and winning, championship back to our winning ways, I think that's a testament to what this core is doing, and you're seeing the same familiar faces each year, and then you add a few pieces, and obviously guys have personal things where they can't come back by next year, and then we just kind of fill their spot with high talent. But we're always reaching for high talent. We want to stay competitive as long as possible, and that was my goal when I came on in 2020, but it's staying true, and again, we have a really, really strong, actually probably the deepest team I've ever had, at least on paper, since my regime started.
You mentioned familiar faces, and I think that's huge. Nolan Macabrota, for example, he's back this year. He got a Frontier League shot in the offseason. He looks great, by the way, just physically. He hit a home run in the exhibition game Saturday. What does he add to this team that maybe you didn't expect to have maybe a month or so ago?
A little bit of everything, to be honest with you. He's not only a great baseball player, but he's a great human being. Everyone gets along with him. Everyone likes him. He loves baseball, loves being around the ballpark. Those kind of players, they're important to have on your team, right? You want guys who want to be there. He's definitely one of those, and the baseball talent is just the cherry on top. So the fact that he's in the middle of the order every single day, again, as an everyday player, that's going to keep him competitive all year.
Yeah, he definitely loves baseball. I was actually talking to him on the field a few days ago, saying he was doing some full-time coaching in Saskatchewan during the offseason too, which is great. Who do you see as the leader of this club, player or otherwise?
You got your Ryan Rios. My coaching staff doesn't get enough credit. They put in a ton of time, a ton of effort. They love baseball too, right? And they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't. So just a shout out to Andrew White and Brad Grieverson and Jeremy Yulbrook. And the fact that we have that 22U team coming in with a ton of talent. We're extending our roster, and all our prospects are basically kind of getting a feel for our culture. And we're trying to make this a long-term thing where we're competitive and there's expectation and there's a high bar and really all the good stuff. So, there's silent leaders. You get your Tyler Plumpton, who's not going to rah-rah, but one of my one that I believe is actually a massive leader, and I don't think gets enough credit, is Hayden Jaco. The day we signed Hayden Jaco from London was our whole team changed. The whole dynamic changed. Silently, he expects the most, and he sets a bar within the locker room, within the organization. I think everybody respected that, and they wanted to play up to his level kind of thing, because he brings it 100% every game. And it just made us a stronger team. So that was kind of like your TSN turning point, if you will, when we signed Hayden Jaco, and he's a continuous leader every year. Yeah,
absolutely. Definitely showed it over the last couple of years. You mentioned the 22U junior team. Jeremy Eulenbrook's going to be the manager of this team. How important is it for you now to have an affiliate club to be able to pull from?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, we were the only IBL team without one for years, and nobody really wanted to play with us to come up to Barrie on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night, and I get that, but the talent that we have up here is it was being wasted in a sense where these kids were going to play somewhere else when they didn't have anywhere to play up here, and that just, again, keeps them within the arm's reach, and there's so much talent. Like, I was at some of the winter workouts, and I couldn't believe how good these guys are at their age. There's 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds that are just, they're all throwing 90. Like, it's crazy. And the infielders can pick up ground balls like I've never seen before. So I know we're going to be competitive. I know it's going to be a fun ride for the summer. I'm so happy for Jeremy, who's in a position to take over that team. And he has the experience with kids that age, so it's kind of a perfect fit. But he's also on the IBL squad. So being able to kind of report back to me and, again, have everything within arm's reach, I think it's just good for everybody.
Listeners of this program will know the story of Austin Boyle, and we had an interview with him a few months ago. So other than him, obviously a big part of that team, who do you expect maybe to be a part of the IBL club at some point in 2025?
It's hard to say. I mean, again, there's 25 guys or 26 guys, I believe, on the roster, and I believe 20 of them probably could be at any point. So we weren't signing guys just to fill roster spots. We're signing guys who we feel that could be IBL talent in the near future. We'll grow into it. Kind of, I think it was unfair to bring in some of the kids that were top prospects out of the CPBL and the elite programs, because there's such a gap from that to the IBL. And you bring them out, and they were on a high because they were one of the best players at their age, and then they get humbled. And, just have them sit on the bench and just kind of watch or fail. Failing is good for growth, but they weren't getting the reps in. So I feel that the 22U team will give them that opportunity, but it'll also give them a taste of the IBL. They get to see what it looks like, and then hopefully grow into that. So it's just a really healthy setup and foundation for long-term success.
So back over to the IBL. What in the IBL this year do you see as the biggest threat to stopping your team from repeating?
Oh, there's a lot of good teams. There's no question about that. Like it could go anywhere from Welland, who's won the pennant. They're right up there all the time. They're going to be competitors. Guelph has a great foundation. With the other great team out there, they were very competitive. I just felt like we were just on a roll last year, and they ran into us. But they're going to be competitive. And Hamilton, with all their signings, they have to be competitive. They have a lot of good athletes, and it'll be fun. It'll be a fun season, and it's not going to be easy for us. We're not going to be able to roll teams. As talented as we are, we're just going to have to stick to our game plan and probably play a lot of competitive games. But I believe we're on the right side of it, and it's a good season for us.
What can fans expect on Thursday night, and how can they get their tickets?
Well, they can go to BarrieBaycats.com. We have plenty of tickets on there. They can get it online, or they can come to the box office on game day to avoid waiting in line, as we do get good crowds for obviously the opener. I suggest getting it online so you have it in advance. We play Toronto again, our rival. We played them probably, I guess, every year since I've started in 2021. But we like playing Toronto. It gives us that competitive energy, and I know they're not gonna be thrilled about our pre-game celebration, and they're not gonna go easy on us. So it's gonna be a fun game, fun atmosphere, and we're really looking forward to it.
Well, Josh, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. This Thursday, 7:30, Toronto Maple Leafs, Barrie Baycats to open the IBL season. Josh, thank you so much.
Thanks, Julius. Appreciate it.
Not easy to find a family doctor anywhere in Ontario, but some towns are coming up with cash incentives and more to attract doctors and finding success with it, much to the chagrin of other municipalities who don't have those kinds of funds and say it's not fair that others can woo doctors away and they want the practice outlawed. Town of Huntsville, one of those municipalities making it hard for doctors to say no. Councillor Bob Stone brings our Ian McLennan and you up to speed on how that's going.
Right up front, big bucks for doctors who want to establish a practice in Huntsville. How did this all come about?
Well, I was approached by my fellow councillor, Scott Morrison, who said, hey, to get doctors, how about if we got some businesses involved? And from there, we created a program that the town offers $60,000 for a physician that takes over an existing practice, or $80,000 if they start up a new practice. And in addition to that, businesses have jumped on board, and this is quite unique to the discussion around physician recruitment. But for example, we have a dealership that is offering a free car for a year. Many restaurants are offering $500 in gift certificates for their restaurants. Realtors are giving half of their commission back to a new house sale to a physician, on and on, all the way down to puppy yoga, free puppy yoga.
So how long has this been in practice in the town?
Less than a year.
And what have you seen in terms of success?
So the town has said we will offer 10 of these packages to new physicians, and we have 5 doctors that have signed already, and we anticipate 2 more to sign before the end of the summer.
And they have to work in the town for at least 5 years?
That's correct.
And how critical is the doctor shortage in your town?
Well, we have a population of about 22,000 people, and currently there are 5,000 people without a doctor. Luckily, the new physicians that have signed our contract have taken over existing practices, which prevented those people from going onto the wait list. But it's just under 25% of our population doesn't have a doctor.
Now, there are parameters in place, too. If they're a doctor in Muskoka, they can't shift to Huntsville simply to take advantage, for lack of a better word, of what's being offered?
Absolutely. We did not want to poach from our neighbors. We're friends with them and want to help them succeed. And with this program, we feel like if we get all the doctors that we need, then we can help them get doctors as well.
Now, some communities have said they don't have the dollars to do what Huntsville is doing. The mayor of Sault Ste. Marie, I believe, has suggested that these incentives be pulled back. Even a federal law recommendation that these sort of incentives should be dropped. What's your take on that? Because there's the feeling that not every Ontario municipality has the pockets to do this.
I understand that, and I feel sad for those municipalities. I will bring up 2 points. First of all, physicians and medical care is under the guise of the province. The municipalities shouldn't be doing anything in healthcare. However, we're the boots on the ground. We see our people struggling. And the province has dropped the ball. They knew this was coming for more than a decade, and now it's here in front of us. And for me and our council, we were elected by the people of Huntsville to take care of them. We see this need, so we're doing exactly that, doing what we have to for our people.
So we've got the province of Ontario and its municipalities technically competing against each other to grab a scarce resource.
I totally agree. And it's sad and difficult, but we're in this situation, and we're just trying to do the best we can for the people we represent.
And will this program come up for review anytime soon, or what's the parameters there?
No, I think our council is steadfast and excited about the success it's having, and we want to make sure all our citizens have access to primary care.
And is the hospital on board with this?
I believe so. They haven't engaged with us specifically about this issue.
But have you talked to doctors, those that are working, have a practice in Huntsville? They understand what the town is trying to do?
Absolutely. And more doctors is better for our hospital and our whole community. So why wouldn't they be excited about this prospect?
And these funds are coming out of the municipal budget, correct?
That's not true, actually. So we have a MAT tax, a municipal accommodation tax, where our visitors that come and stay in our hotels, they pay a small tax.
Right.
And that's the fund that we're drawing on this. So we're not even taxing our local people to bring these doctors.
Now, Ian Colbert, who's Executive Director of the Canadian Public Health Association, we've talked about it, that it's pitting, municipalities against municipalities. You said you feel for some communities, especially up those in far northern Ontario. But is that our lay of the land? Is this the new normal, or you hope not?
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. The province is finally starting to take some action on this, which they should have done 10, 15 years ago. So hopefully their actions are going to get some traction, and we will be drawing some doctors from around the world to come to Ontario, and hopefully that can soothe this exacerbated problem.
I know Mr. Colbert has suggested that the Ontario could do better by student debt forgiveness, introducing med students to the benefits of rural work. So as you've indicated, the province the Ontario government has some work to do here.
Oh, absolutely. They've started, and they're finally recognizing that there's a problem. And so I hope they have some quick wins, and all municipalities have doctors coming to them. But for now, we're doing all we can for our people.
I find it interesting, and I haven't heard from other communities, but how your community has really rallied behind this program. It's not just something that's coming from the political end.
Yes, you're exactly right. So once we started reaching out to businesses, we have not had one business say no when we've gone to them and said, hey, will you help us in this recruitment package? And the answer has always been yes. They know the situation on the ground. They themselves don't have doctors.
This is what Barrie's talking about from Barrie 360. I'm Dan Blakely. Finding out that you can fight City Hall. If you got an issue, something happening in your neighborhood, there's a way to go about it. You can call your councillor, you can call the mayor, or you can do a little bit of research and make a presentation. And we just happen to have somebody down the hall here at Rock 95, Brian Flannery from the Rock 95 morning crew, who just went through this process. So explain to us what the issue was, and let's find out what you did and what the end result was.
Yeah, and it's been months that I've been working on it, but originally the issue is that we have no parking signs already on our street. They were covered by a plastic bag. And of course, those bags are ripping off.
This is a new neighborhood, too.
This is a brand new neighborhood, yeah. And so are we allowed to park here? Are we not allowed to park here? Why are there bags up there? We don't have any information about that. So I find out that apparently within the next several months, we are going to have no parking in our subdivision. And all along our street specifically, our townhomes. That means that there's higher density. That means that there's a need for street parking. And they were taking that away. So the whole issue was about no parking signs being up. Now they said, we're going to put bike lanes in on both sides of the street. That turned out to not be an issue. It's regarding the no parking. So I, of course, did a bunch of research and I reached out to members of the city to get information, to ask questions. And you're just doing it through an email, right? It's not as if you have to go and show up somewhere and have a meeting with someone. You can constantly ask questions. How many emails did I send to their department? Probably 20. And I got all of my information. And then I went down my street and I got signatures for people that were opposed to the no parking signs being implemented. Yes. Yeah. And the petition took time. That took a lot of time, right? And then I'm justifying it to people on my street. Some people think I work for the city. Some people are, of course, and some people say, why don't you do more? Why don't you go look at this issue? And I go, you know what? This is the issue I'm working on right now.
One at a time, please.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to pay me to move forward, we can do that.
Finally, I was with the Community Safety Committee. And you have 5 minutes that you present at the beginning, and it's a hard 5 minutes, and it's very firm. You have a mic that turns on and off, and once it turns off, you're not speaking anymore.
It's on a timer.
Yeah, it's a timer, and I believe it's like being live streamed on YouTube, if not being put up on YouTube later.
Right.
So you have that is in the back of your mind as well. But anyway, you got to be concise. You get through your 5 minutes, and then after that, we had a 45-minute question period. That wasn't just questions directed at me. It's questions directed at staff as well. And that's a major part of it. So that went on, and then they voted on the two things that I suggested, and both of them worked. So they went through.
So the squeaky wheel got the grease.
The squeaky wheel got the grease.
But it's not completely over yet.
No, it's not. It's the first step of it, and there's going to be another step before the end of the month. But they referenced in the follow-up questions the petition. They referenced it twice. I had over 80% of people on my street. Just those numbers. What if your street was 6 people? You know what I mean?
Right.
You saying 80%, over 80% of my street, that got their attention. So much so that Councillor for Ward 9 said he's never seen that before, ever. So that's really, I think, what worked.
Look at you. You're a superstar.
Is the petition, yeah. Well,
you're the poster boy for this.
The work paid off so far, and it went well. So the fight continues, though.
All right. Yeah, so you got some more work to do. So is a waiting game now, or do you have another appointment?
I've got another presentation that I'll probably do May 27th with the Parking Ad Hoc Committee. That'll be the first meeting that they have ever had for that newly appointed committee that's going to look at modernizing and developing all kinds of new parking standards within the city of Barrie. So other parking issues as well. They're going to look at that.
So look at the can of worms you've opened.
Yes, exactly.
Good for you.
We want the change, right? That's what we need.
Exactly. Well, good on you. And the message here is you can do this. You can be successful. It's not necessarily a waste of your time. They will listen to you, because a lot of people have the attitude, it's not going to do me any good anyway. You're proof that it does.
It was nice to walk into the chambers and you realize, they're real people as well. And so you're bringing a real concern as a resident of that area that maybe they're not familiar with, and you just need to familiarize them with it for them to understand, and then all of a sudden we're all people. and we realize there's templates in place and policy and procedure, but those things can be changed.
A little side hustle here for you now, right?
Maybe,
like
yeah.
Consultant to people who want to do this kind of thing.
I mean, I could show you a few things that I learned along the way, because I learned a lot.
All right, well, keep us posted. Let us know how it finishes up.
Absolutely.
Thanks. And that's our program for this week. Thanks to Ian and Julius for their input, to Matt Ladder for his technical expertise, and to you for listening. If you like what you've heard, please subscribe to What Barrie's Talking About, rate it, review it. You can also keep up with What Barrie's Talking About on Blue Sky and X at Barrie360 and on our website, Barrie360.com. There's also our daily Kickstart podcasts available from any streaming service and on our website. I'm Dan Blakely. Hope you'll join us again next week.